right now. And again, for those that don't know me, my name is Judy Miller. I do some of the basic training webinars. I try to make it super, super easy so that the software is more consumable for you at the beginning. And today we're going to learn about building a simple campaign. So if you've already been in the campaign builder and you've been building out these gnarly campaigns, we will have time for Q&A at the end of this, but we are going to go over just how to build a simple campaign today and how to put the pieces together, and then I'll give you examples of what other campaigns look like. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the question box. I will be sending the recording out later this afternoon. And this is my best webinar, I think, ever. It's my favorite, so I get really excited. If I start talking too fast, just tell me to slow down. I also just had a waffle that tech support made us this morning. They made us breakfast, and it was amazing. So I may be on a little sugar high, but still I get really excited about the campaign builder. So what we're going to be able to do today is we're going to be able to create a basic lead capture form. You may call it a contact us form. We call it a web form, but we're going to learn how to make that. We're going to learn how to make the web form, as I said. I'm going to show you how to create a sequence. We're going to understand the ingredients for a simple campaign, and I'm going to show you where to get campaigns for free. So this may excite you guys because you're going to learn how to get campaigns for free that are already built for you, that have copy and everything. So it's amazing. With your Infusionsoft application, you do have access to our Help Center. Our Help Center is located at help.infusionsoft.com. And even if you have a new user that's not quite into Infusionsoft yet, you just hired them, you haven't added them to your app, they can still go to our Help Center and watch some videos, get into our user guide, and more access to self-help learning in our mastermind webinar. So there's all sorts of stuff there. Yesterday, I sent you guys an article on how to change the merge field from defaulting to friend to whatever you want it to default to, and I found that article in the Help Center, so it's very helpful, hence the name Help Center. So I always like to give something for free on my webinars, some extra value for coming and spending an hour with me, and this is just a really, really, really cool technical writing document that was created by one of our software experts. It has everything that has to do with the campaign builder, every area of the campaign builder with an arrow and then after the arrow there's some verbiage about it and describes it. It's every single part of the campaign builder. It's awesome, it's amazing, and I'll send this PDF to you with your recording. And you'll probably use this more than you'll use a recording because it really does go over every goal, every sequence, what's in the toolbar, etc. It's awesome. So let's talk about Infusionsoft for a minute. When you're building out a campaign, you just need to know these two simple ingredients to build any campaign, a simple campaign that even grows into a more complex campaign. So when you think about Infusionsoft and think about our campaign builder, the first ingredient is a goal. And we represent the goal with a circle. And the circle or the goal is what you want the contact to do, what you want that prospect or that customer to achieve. It's replicated by a goal. And we have lots and lots of different goals inside of Infusionsoft. We have a web form, a landing page was submitted, a tag was applied to a contact record, somebody clicked on a link in an email, or they purchased a product through our e-commerce. There's lots of goals. That document that I'm sending you goes over each one of these goals, but today we're going to focus on a web form is submitted. You guys may know that as a contact us form, a registration form, a sign up for a free gift form. That's what we're going to make today, and I'm going to show you the ways that you can get that on your website. Super, super easy. The second ingredient is a sequence, and our sequence is represented by a rectangle with kind of two emails and a clock in the middle. They kind of look like barbells, but they're emails with the timer in the middle. And this goal is achieved. I'm sorry, I'm looking at questions instead of paying attention, so let me stop looking at my questions. When a goal is achieved, when someone contact reaches that goal, Infusionsoft will automatically push them into this sequence. Somebody fills out a form, it's going to push them in this sequence. Somebody registers for a webinar, it's going to push them in this sequence. Somebody gets a tag, specific tag put on their contact record, it's going to put them into this sequence. When a goal is achieved, it pushes a contact into this sequence. And the sequence is actually where the magic inside Infusionsoft happens. There's lots of stuff you can do in a sequence. Let me show you an example. You can send an email. You can put a delay timer in for maybe 2 or 3 days. You can automatically send another follow-up email. put in another timer for maybe 2 or 3 days, and then you can create a task for you to do something like send them a thank you card or send them a welcome card or send out that free gift that you promised. You can do all of that in that sequence. That's where the magic of automation happens. So there's 2 things that you need to remember when building out your first campaign. A goal connects to a sequence. A more complex campaign is just a goal that pushes to a sequence, that pushes to another goal, that pushes to another sequence. So it gets super, super easy. So if you can do this, you can build a campaign, and I'm going to show you how now. Open up my Infusionsoft application. This should look familiar to you. And now that I'm inside my Infusionsoft application, to get to the campaign builder, I'm going to hover over the Infusionsoft logo, come over to marketing, down to campaign builder, and click it one time. Now, when you open up your campaign builder, there may not be a library here. There may not be any campaigns, and that's okay because I'm going to show you how to build one today. But when I talked about recipes and ingredients, Infusionsoft has some pre-built campaigns right here on this white button that says Get Campaign Templates. And I call those the Betty Crocker already created boxed recipes. You can click on this Get Campaign Templates. It will bring you into our Marketplace campaign repository, and you can type in birthday campaign, register for an event campaign, deliver and wow campaign, and Infusionsoft will install that campaign right into your Infusionsoft application. So don't do that now because I want to go over how to build it by scratch so that you understand how the pieces go together. Once you learn how to build it by scratch, you'll be able to go into that campaign repository and go, wow, this is easier than I thought. This is already done for me. I can just move things around, change some of the copy, and I'm ready to go. So we have our pre-built campaigns to the left button, and then create a campaign to the right button, and I'm going to click that one time. When I click in it, it's going to ask me to name the campaign, and I'm going to call this Join My Newsletter List and More. Name the campaign what it is. That's my rule of thumb. If you're going to have lots of campaigns, name it what it is. It's a no judgment zone. We're not going to judge your names. Name it what it is, and if you have lots and lots of people building out campaigns in your app, have them put their initials at the beginning. Then you'll be able to find the campaign super, super easy. Once I hit save, it's going to open up my canvas. And if you notice, there's a black bar on top. All the way to the left, if I click on campaigns, it will bring me back out to my campaign library. This is the name of my campaign, Join My Newsletter List and More. I have my edit button, my reporting button. You guys won't have a stealth button because that's just for employees. And then I have actions where I can change the name of my campaign if I don't like it. And the publish button that's not even blued out yet because we didn't do anything yet. So here's my blank canvas. You guys are Betty Crocker, and you get to build this out whichever way you want to. And it starts out with a goal. So we grab the first ingredient from our toolbar, we grab the goal, and drop it out into our canvas. And now you'll see that underneath our goal, I chose the web form submitted goal, something turned blue underneath. And that's telling you rename this. Don't leave it generic web form submitted. So I'm going to call this newsletter sign up. And I hit my enter button after newsletter so that it doesn't bleed out and the words don't go all the way to the right and bleed into the next part of my campaign. This is my goal, newsletter sign up. It's gray in color. Gray in color means that it's not ready. It's in default mode. That's okay. Have my goal. The next ingredient is a sequence. So I'm going to come up to my sequences, grab my sequence, and drag it out into my canvas. Make it a little bigger, just like that. Up, the bottom turned blue. What does that mean? It means to rename it so it's not called untitled sequence. So I'm going to rename this to Welcome and More. Name it what it is so that when you go back in or you're hiring somebody to go in and create those emails for you, you can tell them go into the sequence that's called Welcome and More. Name it what it is. It will always help you. You can always go back and double click and change it. Now I have my goal that I'm highlighting in blue to show you. I have my sequence that I'm highlighting in blue to show you, and now I need to connect them together because they're not connected. To connect two pieces of Infusionsoft, two objects in the Infusionsoft Campaign Builder together, you simply hover over the icon to the left, an arrow will appear, grab the arrow, and move it right into the sequence. Now if it turns red when you scroll over it and the arrow turns red, that means you can't connect it. So if I put another goal here and try to connect a goal to a goal, wah, wah, it won't let me because you can't connect a goal to a goal. If you need to get rid of an arrow, click on it, wait till the blue little boxes appear, and then hit delete. Let me show you how to make that arrow again. Hover over the form, grab the arrow, move it right into the sequence, and now the foundation of my campaign is done. It's awesome and it was easy. They're both gray, which means that they have not been built out yet. They're in default mode. So now I'm going to go into the form and show you how to build out a simple form to put on your website or use in a Facebook ad. Put my cursor right inside of in the middle of the icon and double click. When I do, because I picked the goal of web form, the web form builder opens up, and it opens up in default mode. This is default mode. Everyone's will look like this unless you had somebody playing around in your Infusionsoft already. I want to put a title because I want them to know what they're signing up for. So I'm going to come to my snippets, grab the title, drag it on top, and I'm going to put in Get My Newsletter and more. Like Microsoft Word, I can highlight it, I can come up to Format, and I can change the color of my font if I want to, just like this. Super, super easy. Now, I don't like how it looks with my title and my first name field so close together, so I want to move them apart a little bit, and the way you would do that is go back to your snippets, look for the spacer, there it is, and just move it where you want some space. Hit save, and now I have some space and it looks fine. You'll also notice that first name and email are already defaulted in this form. If you need their last name by any chance, you may be a financial advisor and you need to know their last name. First name's already there. So just double-click first name, and this box will automatically pop up. Choose last name. I can even choose title if I want, and hit save. Now I have first name, last name, and email. Now you can add other snippets. If you want to add your logo, you can add your logo here. Let me just show you what that would look like. I'm looking for my cute logo. So if you're doing a Facebook ad and you want people to know who you are, you can put in your logo if you'd like. You can come to snippets and you can put in a paragraph if you'd like and let them know what they're going to be expecting in an email. I'm not going to put any content. I'll leave the Infusionsoft there for now. I have first name, last name, and email. If I want more fields, and I'll answer your question in a moment, Ted, if I want more fields, I just simply come to field snippets, and I can add other fields. So if I need their phone number, I can add phone number. If I need a checkbox, would you like us to call you, I can put checkbox. If I need their address because I'm going to send them something in the mail, I can put in address. But I don't know these people from Adam. I'm just asking them to sign up for my newsletter so that I could start a relationship with them. So I can start a conversation and communication. So I'm just going to ask for their first name. I'll leave last name there. I wouldn't usually ask for last names. I'm just trying to get to know them and get them information, and then their email address. The next thing I'm going to do is change the submit button, because the submit button is generic. We don't want people just to see submit. So to change the button, we're going to double click it. And when we double click the submit button, we can change the label. And I'm going to change this label to Get It Now with exclamation points. I can change the alignment from left, right to center. If I click on Advanced Styling, I can come in and change the background color of my button. Change the font. I can make the border wider or thinner. I can make the corners rounder or less round, and I can even make it bigger or smaller by hitting custom size. So I invite you to go in and play around with that later and change your form around to see what you want it to look like. When I hit save, it automatically saves my button. It says Get Now. Now, Ted asked a question, what's mandatory? Your email address is mandatory, so it automatically shows up with that little asterisk. But if you don't want it to be mandatory, first name and last name, double-click, and then make it not required. But you do have to have their email address. That field is required. So my form is done. I think it looks great. I actually would change the colors, but for time's sake, it looks fine. The next thing I'm going to do is come up to the right-hand corner, and I'm going to change it to ready. And a lot of people freak out when changing a form to ready. They think, oh no, it's going to go out to someone. It's going to show up on my website. It's not going to go out to anyone. It's not going to show up on your website. It's not even published yet. It's just letting Infusionsoft know that, hey, I changed that default form into my own form. You can always go back and change it if you want to. Always, always, always. Let me pause for a second and get a drink of water and give you guys a breath. And I'm back. Now that I have my form done, I'm going to go to the next step, which is the thank you. I was in design mode right here, trying to click on it. Now I'm going to click on the thank you page tab. The thank you page tab is your real estate to let people know that that form filled out was a success. It's also a great piece of real estate to let people know you're going to be getting an email in a few seconds. If you don't get it, please check your spam folder or check your promotions tab if you're using Gmail. It's a great place to tell them exactly what to expect so that they'll go to their email and check. And sometimes I do get caught in spam every once in a while. This thank you page automatically shows up like this with the orange and apple, and you get to put in your logo by double-clicking. And I'm just going to put in my thank you. So I have an image here called thank you that I think is really super cute. Insert, and there's my thank you. It automatically says thank you for filling out the form, and Ted, like yesterday, it's going to grab their first name, contact first name. If you don't have the first name field, it will automatically just put in friend. You can change this to whatever you want it to say, and I'm going to change mine to you got it, and it's going to bring up their first name. We will contact you shortly. This is where I would type in and say, check your spam folder if you didn't get an email from me in the next couple minutes. I can't wait for you to see my stuff. You will love it, and it will help you with your writing ideas. We always do recommend that where it says click here to continue browsing, you decide where you want to send them when they get out of this page. Do you want them to go back to your website? If you do, just come back up to the link and put in your web address. You can change it to check me out on Facebook, want to check out my blog, want to see my products, and you can redirect them wherever you want to redirect them to. This is the thank you page. The next tab is your settings tab, and your settings tab gives you the opportunity to be notified every time someone fills out that form. Now granted, if you get notified too much and you're getting too many new leads, which would be awesome, you may not want to be notified. But if you do, you just put your email address in underneath notification email. Put in your email address, and where it says notification, this is what the subject line will be of your email. So I always encourage people to change it to a web form was filled out for my newsletters. So if I have more than one web form in different places, I'll know exactly where this one came from. If I have more than one person that I want to be notified, I put in their email address, put a comma, put in the next person's email address, put a comma, put in the next person's email address. This bot detection If you check opt out of the automated bot detection, that will not bring up a CAPTCHA code if somebody tries to fill out the form more than once. So if I go in there to play and I put in Judy Miller and then Santa Claus and Tom Thumb, it will automatically bring up a CAPTCHA to make sure that I'm not a robot. If you don't want it to, just uncheck it. I'm going to go back to the thank you page because Nathaniel asked how to add an image, and while I'm here I want to show you. So I'm going to delete that. Snippets. The image was already there, so I need to add an image because the image isn't there to double click anymore. You simply double click the image that's there. You can either add a new image if you have a new image on your desktop, or you can come add your image here, and I already have an image in here called Thank You Script. Insert update, and then the image appears, and I can come and center it if I want to. Just like that. Awesome. Settings tab. If you want to be notified, if you want others to be notified, you can put in your email address. The others do not have to work for it, do not have to have a permissions to use your app. They don't have to be users inside of Infusionsoft. So if you have an admin in Texas that's working for you that's not using Infusionsoft and you want her to know that we have a new lead, you can put her email address in here too. They don't have to be a user inside Infusionsoft. The next tab is the code tab. And just to let you know, you don't grab your code ever, ever, ever until you publish your campaign. And here's why. If you grab your code, take it and put it on your website, and it's not published yet, Infusionsoft doesn't know you're ready, and it will just be that default first name, email, submit. And you don't want it to show up that way. So you do have to grab the code, but you do it after the campaign's published. Since I'm on this page, I'm going to show it to you anyway, and I do have a whole webinar on how to get this on your website. If you'd like me to add it to your recording, let me know. If you have a webmaster that's going to do this for you, just click on Have Your Webmaster Do It, put in their email address. Hey, Tom, can you get this on my website ASAP? Done. You don't need to even see the code ever. It goes right to your webmaster. They have everything they need. They don't have to get inside Infusionsoft. It's awesome. If you're going to do it yourself, and I've done it a couple times, so it's not hard, you're going to grab our code. You just simply grab the code, copy it, and then go to your website, go to your admin page, pick the page you want this on, and drop it in a text box. That's it. There's different kinds of code. There's a JavaScript snippet, and there's an HTML code. The only difference between these two is a JavaScript snippet. Just say I decide, I don't want the image in my web form anymore. I take the image out, I republish. When you use a JavaScript snippet, you don't have to go back to your website and put the code back in. It will automatically mirror the image that you created in that form. Whatever you changed in the form, it will happen automatically on your website. If you use the HTML code, you are going to have to copy all the code and replace it on your website when you republish the campaign. Well, Judy, why wouldn't I just use the JavaScript snippet? Why wouldn't I? Well, with some themes in WordPress and some companies like Wix, the JavaScript snippet does not work. I used the JavaScript snippet in my Selene theme on WordPress and it chopped off the button. Then they fixed it and all of a sudden my button appeared. So you have to test it out and make sure. Also, the JavaScript snippet takes a little bit more time to open up than the HTML. The HTML will show up immediately. The JavaScript snippet will take one moment. If you don't have a website yet, so I don't have a website yet, but I still need to start collecting leads, Judy. I need to get my business going, and I have a list of people, and I'd like to email them and send them a link, or I'd like to send out some direct mailers and put in a link. Awesome. Use our hosted version that Infusionsoft actually hosts for you. All you do is copy this link. You can even make a bit.ly link if you want and use that link. The only difference between the web form URL and the pretty URL is you can change the ending to this to get my awesome newsletter. So you can just change the ending. The share with network is a little bit of a stinker. That's why I'd use the hosted version. I wouldn't use this. It will connect with any Twitter account. So it will truncate the link and go to any Twitter account that you want it to. But the Facebook one will only go to your Facebook personal page. So if people don't know you, Ted, by your name, they only know you by your business, this would automatically send a link to your personal page, not your business page, and you may not want them to see you on your personal page. So I would just use the hosted version, and when you're making that Facebook ad and they ask you where you want to redirect this to, put in that URL, and you'll start collecting leads inside Infusionsoft just like that. I'll show you before the end of the webinar how I use the hosted version. Well, we're done with our web form, so we're going to go back to our campaign, and now you'll see that the web form is kind of a gray-green, and that means it's ready to use. Add a default mode, but not published. Now we're going to come into the sequence, and we're going to start building out the sequence. When I double-click the form builder, the form builder opens up. When I double-click the sequence builder opens up. Let me show you that again. When I double-click right inside that rectangle, it opens up. And it always starts with a start. And that start is telling you, okay, somebody reached a goal. What do you want to happen next? That's what that start button is saying. It's already green. It's already ready. Now with Infusionsoft, we like to tag people so we know what list they belong to. And these people are signing up for my newsletter list. So I want to know that. So next month when I send off my newsletter for 4th of July, I want to make sure that anybody that has that tag is going to get that newsletter. So I'm going to come down to Process. I'm going to grab the tag. I'm going to drag it right onto my canvas. The arrow automatically appears, but if for some reason it doesn't appear, simply go to the icon before to the left and attach. Now the tag is gray, and gray should automatically mean, oh, it's not ready, I need to make it ready. To make it ready, you simply double-click the tag, and the tag builder opens up. And what do I want these people's tag to be? I'm going to make a new tag called June Newsletter Sign Up. So my June newsletter sign up list. I don't have to call it that, but I'm making a new one so I can show you that it really works. I'm actually going to put 1, 2, 3 in front of it so you can see it really works. I hit create. I hit save. No, I don't want to add a category. I hit save, and now it's gray-green. That means it's ready. The next thing I want to do is I want to send them an email because I promised them an email as soon as they filled out that form. And I told them in the thank you note, you better check your emails because you're going to get one really soon. I want to deliver whatever it is that I promised them. So I'm going to come to my communications. I'm going to grab an email and drop it right out to my canvas. The arrow will automatically appear. It turns blue underneath, meaning rename it. I'm going to rename it Welcome. Welcome to my newsletter list. Name it whatever you want to name it. You can always come double-click and change the name. It's gray, so I need to get it ready. I double-click, and my email builder gallery opens up. We went over this yesterday. If anyone didn't come yesterday, just let me know in the question box, and I will send you the recording. I can either choose an email from in here, a template, or I can come to my templates, and I showed everyone yesterday, you can save a template, and I can drag it right into the campaign builder. So where's my welcome email? I think it's up a little bit. There it is. Thanks for signing up. Use template, and I have the same theme going on, so they'll see that when they filled out the form, I had the same little icon as my banner, so it will be very familiar to them, and they'll go, oh yeah, I remember this. This is my email. I can change whatever I want to change, but I'm ready. It's great. So I'm going to come into the right-hand corner, let Infusionsoft know my email's ready, all the way to the left and go back to my sequence. And now my email's green. Now what do I want to do? Well, I have these hot leads that just filled out a form on my website or in a Facebook ad. I have them tagged. I sent out their first email, and now they're hot to trot. I want to send them another email, but I want to wait a few days. Awesome. I come up to my timers, grab my delay timer. It's gray, so I'm going to double-click it. How many days do I want to wait? Well, if you're a realtor, you'll want to get it out the next day. If you are a yoga instructor, you may want to get it out 2 days later. In your industry, you need to decide how often you want to contact this person. I'm trying to get them to sign up for some marketing ideas that they can sign up for on a membership site. But I want to also welcome them and, welcome them again and let them know what I have to offer. So I think I'll wait 3 days, but as you can see, I can wait minutes, hours, months, or no delay. I can send it immediately. I'm going to wait 3 days and hit save. Now I'm going to write another email. I can either come over and grab that email again from the communications, but if I already have the banner that I like and the email setup that I like and the template that I like, I don't want to go grab that again. So I'm just going to come to my welcome that I already have, right-click, hit duplicate, move it over, and the arrow doesn't automatically appear, so I have to grab the arrow, put an arrow there. Uh-oh, has the same name as my first email, better change it. Double-click and email to with offer. Double-click my email, put in my offer. So instead of this click here now, it may say get marketing tips, get marketing ideas now, subscribe now, 99-cent, offer, hit ready, back to my sequence. Now I want to send another email if they did not take the offer. If they didn't take the bait and they didn't bite on that little worm, I'm going to put in another delay timer. This time I'm going to wait 4 days. And then I'm going to add another email. You can keep on going right to left or left to right, but I'm going to start going right to left, so I'm going to put the email underneath and then attach it. Double click, and this is email 3. Second offer. Double click. Change the content because I don't want them to get the same content, so this might be got to get it now. Change my subject. Make sure that my link is all ready. Set my email to ready. Back to my sequence. And now I have 3 emails. Welcome, offer 1, offer 2, and now I'm going to put in another timer. This time I'm going to wait a week. I don't want to freak them out. Double click, come to weeks, 1 week, and I'm going to put in another email. I'm going to call this one final offer. Put the arrow, and then I'm going to add another timer just in case I decide that I want to put something else there, but I'm not going to set these ready on purpose to show you. So now my sequence is done. They fill out a form, they get a tag. They get the first email, 3 days later, the second email, 4 days later, the third email, and 1 week later, the final email. Now if I decide, wow, 4 days is a lot, I want to change that. Double click, and I can change it to 2 days. So you're not stuck on what you set. Now that my sequence is done, I don't have to really have this final offer done yet because I have a week, 2 days, and 3 days. So I almost have 2 weeks before anyone's even going to get this one. So I can do that one later. But I want to get this started so you guys can see it work. So I'm going to come up to draft and let Infusionsoft know that my sequence is done. Up to this part, it's done. Go back to my campaign, and now you see that everything is gray-green. Now, if you're going to use Infusionsoft's e-commerce and I'm giving them an offer to buy something, I can come here and grab my product, purchased, goal, attach it, and then have people be able to make a successful purchase and then go on to the next sequence. And this sequence would be new customer, goal, sequence, goal, sequence. I'm going to double click this shopping cart and I'm going to put any purchase because I only have one product because I want to show you how it works. When I'm done with my campaign and I'm ready to publish it, I'm going to come up to publish and click it 1 time. And what Infusionsoft is going to do is it's going to look at that campaign and see if it's going to work. The most important part is down here, that campaign, passes functional inspection. That means that everything that we have ready now is going to work, which is awesome. Let me take a break for a second. And some people are asking questions about what if they buy. I'm going to get to that. There's a method to my madness. 3 elements are marked as not ready. We know that. There's an email, and there's a timer, and then there's another sequence. And we already know that those are marked as not ready. We don't have them done yet. Emails aren't personalized. I didn't put their first name in the subject line. That's okay. Everything's going to function fine because this campaign passes functional inspection is green. So I'm going to hit publish and publish my campaign. You can always go back and change things, no worries. When you publish your campaign, it takes you into a different canvas, and this is called the reporting canvas. And if you go to our help center and type in campaign reporting, it will go over this page. But I want to go back into the edit mode and work on this campaign and test it out and show you. The colors have changed now. When a campaign is published, it turns dark emerald green, and that means it's published and ready to use the code, etc. I want to test it out. To test it out, I'm going to double-click the form, and you can do it one of 2 ways. I'm holding up my finger too, like you guys can see it. You can either come to this test button in the black toolbar, and I can just click on my name, or you can go to code, click on the hosted version, and open up the hosted version. I just wanted to show you how that worked. I'm going to fill it out. I'm going to put Judith. And let's see, I'm going to put a 1, 2, 3 at the end so you can see that it works. My last name is Miller. My email address. And now I'm going to hit Get It Now. When I hit Get It Now, that thank you page should open, and it should have my name, Judith Ann 123, and it did. Awesome. If I click on Continue Browsing, it will take me to Infusionsoft.com because that's what I put there. There's my thank you. There's the name that I put in. It automatically grabbed it. If we go back to campaigns, you'll see there's one in there right now. If we click on that, it will be Judith Ann. Now I want to see if Judith got the email and if she got tagged with the 123 June newsletter list. So let's check. I'm going to click on Find a Contact, and I'm going to type in Judith. There's Judith Ann 123. I'm going to click on her contact record. Click on again. I've already been in here before, so it's just going to update my record. There's the tag 123 newsletter. There's my name, Judith Ann 123. And if I scroll down more and click on the campaign tab, you can see recent campaign history. I filled out a form at 10:38 on June 29th. Infusionsoft sent me an email June 29th at 10:39 that said, welcome to my newsletter list. And it also secretly applied a tag to my contact record, 123 June newsletter signup. If you scroll down further, you can see the upcoming campaign items. It's going to wait. It's going to send me another email. June 3rd, I'm going to get an email. June 5th, I'm going to get an email. And then it's going to wait until June 12th, and nothing happens after that. So I don't have that stuff ready yet. So we can see it worked. If you want to see what those emails look like, you can hit send, and you'll get those emails. So we know that part worked. Now let's search for everyone that has that tag, and then we'll go back into the campaign, and I'll show you what happens if the girl purchases. I'm going to come into contacts, and I want to do a new search, and I just want to find the people that filled out my form. I just want to find anybody with the 123 June newsletter list sign-up tag. Hit search, and only one person should show up, and they did, Judith Ann Miller, because she filled out the form, so she secretly got tagged. So I know what you guys are thinking, and you're thinking, oh, Judy, you made a horrible mistake in there. In the sequence, you have email 1 with an offer or email 2, email 3 with an offer, and then a final offer. What happens if they buy an email number 2? We don't want them to get email number 3 in the final offer because it may be a better deal, and then they're going to be as mad as a rattlesnake. And I've had that happen before, and it really makes me mad. Um, home warranty companies are notorious for it. They just keep on sending me better deals, and I already bought it for more expensive. How do we make sure that if Judith Miller buys this in email number 2, she's not going to get email number 3 and then email number 4? Let me show you. Inside this sequence, you'll see there's a little blue flag. And if I click on that flag, a box will appear. And the box says, hey, Infusionsoft, if somebody reaches the next goal to the right, please stop everything to the left immediately. That's really what it says. It just says when a goal is achieved in this sequence, stop it immediately. So if something happens in that sequence and they reach that goal, please move them further on down the funnel. That's what we call it. I'm sure you've heard that before. Hey, Infusionsoft, if they buy this or they click on that link, please stop this sequence and move them on. There's another button that says run this until completed, and I bet you're thinking, Judy, why would I ever do that? Well, you may be a yoga instructor and you offered the 5 basic yoga poses. And you said for the next 5 days, you're going to get a pose a day. It's going to show you how to do it. And the easiest way to do it, taught by one of our awesome instructors. Even if they click on the link to buy the free pass or buy the pass for $10 for a month or get the free pass, it's great if they click on that. But I promised them that 5-part series, so I want them to get it. So that one says, hey, Infusionsoft, if they click the next goal, it's okay. Send them the rest of the stuff. I promised it to them. For the most part, you usually use stops immediately, and it automatically defaults to that. So you never have to set it up, it defaults. So in this sequence, if they fill out this form, they get email number 1. Then they get email number 2, and if they have a successful purchase, they go on further on down the line. If they don't have a successful purchase, they'll get email number 3. If they have a successful purchase in email number 3, they'll go further on down the funnel. If they don't have a successful purchase, they'll get email number 4. If they have a successful purchase, it will take them out, and there's another timer in there just in case you want to add another email. So everything this way stops, and it moves them further on down the funnel. I love that highlighter. It makes me really happy. Erase. Normal. If you need to add things to your campaign, just add it and republish. Before I go on, I want to show you what this form looks like on a regular website. So I have a picture of it. I'm going to bring it up real quick. So this is a website. I usually bring up the website, but I took an image of it instead. This is a guy named Chris. Chris beat cancer, and he has his web form on the right-hand side. It says, hey, friend. That's a title. He has, welcome to my blog. That's, a little bit of an article, a snippet of information. First name, email, and then he has a radio button. I'm a cancer patient. I'm helping someone, or I'm into prevention, so he can tag them and segment them right from the form. And then subscribe is round, so he rounded it, made it blue, and made the words white. That's a form that's created inside Infusionsoft. Let me show you another one. So that's a not hosted. That's using the code and putting the code on your website. This send me the ebook is also Infusionsoft, but he hacked the code to make it go all the way across. Infusionsoft only goes vertical. Let me show you another live site. This is my basic training channel where I host all my videos. I have my hosted form right here under marketing ideas. So on YouTube, when you're setting up your YouTube, you have a place to put in a URL. You can name it whatever you want. I named it marketing ideas. I took that pretty URL and I put it right underneath that marketing idea link. And when someone opens it, I don't have a website. It's going to open it to an Infusionsoft hosted form that I created inside Infusionsoft image, article, title, first name, email, sign me up, and I change the background to teal and put in a border. That's it. When someone fills that out, they will automatically go into Infusionsoft, and that is what you do with Facebook too. It can go to our hosted form. They fill it out. They're inside Infusionsoft, and they get all the information. So before I get to questions, I want to show you a few campaigns, then we'll get to our questions. This is a campaign, just a really simple campaign. And if you break it down, because you know pieces now and you know the ingredients, it's just a goal to a sequence, to another goal, to another sequence, to another goal, to another sequence. The only difference here is there's a little diamond right here, and that's called a decision diamond. Let me explain that one real quick. If you have a goal that connects to two sequences, this decision diamond will automatically appear. And that decision diamond, when you double click it, will ask you, hey, what are the rules for this contact to go to this sequence? And what are the rules for this contact to go to this sequence? If they're a cat owner, I want them to get the cat sequence. If they're a dog owner, I want them to get the dog sequence. When you have a goal that goes to more than one sequence, that decision diamond automatically pops up. You can't make it, it automatically shows up. Goal, sequence, to a goal, to a sequence, to a goal, to a sequence. Remember this, your simple one campaign is more important than your complex none campaign. Super, super, super important for you to know that. Because everyone tries to drive the 18-wheeler first, and they never have the confidence, so they grind and they crash. It's really important to build out what's on the left first, because all that's on the right is a goal that hits a sequence, that pushes to another goal, that pushes to another sequence. There's that little flag in there that says, hey, Infusionsoft, if they reach the next goal, push them further on down the funnel. And you guys are the marketing specialists of your business. So just think about it. What do I want to happen now? What do I want them to do to make them move to the next level? Got to understand what's on the left first, and then you'll get to what's on the right, I promise. Tons and tons and tons of people do this. So my challenge to you is to build out a simple campaign, create, automate, publish it, and then test it out and put yourself in it. Ask 3 of your friends if you don't have contacts yet, if you can send them this campaign and see if it works. Test it, see the magic happen, and then start all over again and add to it. Make a more complex campaign. You can even go in there and copy a campaign that you created and add to it. Super, super fun to create. You just have to feel confident. We also have a product. I always say this because some people are like, I'm brand new. I don't have any contacts. I need contacts. We have a Facebook program. It's a little pricey, so it's $1.99 a month, $3.99 a month, and then I think $4.99 a month. But I have a bit.ly link I'll be sending to you just in case in the future you want to find out more about our Facebook ad program. And let's go to questions. Make it bigger so I can see. Can you stipulate which fields in a form are mandatory and which are optional? Yes, and I did show you that. Double click. Field options. I can put in their phone number. I can require it or not require it, but let me explain to you this little marketing tip. If you ask for your phone number, if you ask for their phone number, even if you don't require it, it may have somebody not fill out this form. I don't want to give them all this information. I don't want them to call me. Even though it's not required, some people may just drop off this form and not fill it out because it has your number. So be careful when you're first filling out a form and only ask for the stuff that you definitely need to bring that person to the next level. Ted asked, how do we ensure that people that convert do not get the next email? And I did show you that with that little flag right there. that little flag will promise you that they move on to the next level. And Nathaniel asked, do you have the option to add emojis to subject lines of emails? You can't add emojis to subject line of emails. We don't have that capability, but you can add images to emails. You just can't add them to the subject line. But that's a big thing right now, and a lot of people are doing it. We just don't have the capability to do that yet. But thank you for asking. That was a great question. I wish we could do that because I use emojis. I think one of the customers that came to one of my webinars said, you use more smiley faces in an email than anyone I've ever met. So I told him I was grumpy, and he goes, not grumpy to me. So I use lots of emojis. Any other questions? Doesn't look like it. So I will be sending you the goodies that I promised you. I will also be sending you the recording. And I just want to show you, since we do have a couple more minutes, I just want to show you what it looks like when you install a campaign into Infusionsoft. So let me show you that unless you guys got to go. Get campaign templates. Which campaign do I want? I want event sign up. Event sign up. Hit enter, and all the event signups will show up. Which one do I want? Automate event registration and follow-up. That sounds awesome. Click on it. It will give you some information about the campaign. Hit install. I want it to go into this app because I have more than one app. Begin installation, and Infusionsoft will install that campaign into your app. Has lots of notes and stuff, but you can go in and delete those notes. Let me show you how. Here's my campaign. It's already in there, which is amazingly awesome. This is the Betty Crocker recipe. You can hit delete, delete. I can get rid of all of these notes. And there's my campaign. Let me show you a trick. I'm going to highlight the whole campaign. As long as everything has X's, I can move it. Event registration, event reminders, double click. And the only difference in this campaign is that we're using date timers, and a date timer will send the next email on the date that you specify. So if you're sending out reminders, you would use the date timer. Don't forget tomorrow's the event. Don't forget today's the event, and that is this timer right here. So thank you for joining me. People that came to 2 webinars, thank you so much. I'll be sending you all the goodies. My email address is basictraining@infusionsoft.com. I'll put it in a note right here so you can see how to add a note. Other, grab a note. That's my email address, basictraining@infusionsoft.com. The notes don't do anything but give you a note, so if you need to delete them, just hit X and they'll go away. So thank you guys. I hope this will help you get into the campaign builder and start creating your first simple campaign. And if you need me, basictraining@infusionsoft.com. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.